back. Hopefully that's good now. Let's see. Check it on my other monitor. There we go. My dog is ruining everything today. He's bleeding all over the place because his paw has a thing on it, and then unplugged part of my webcam. So fun stuff. But what we're gonna be doing today is just taking simple ideas and showing how you can make them more interesting. And especially this first one is going to be really applicable. Is that the word? To a lot of different styles. It's totally well, here, I don't even need to choose a tone yet. We're going to start with this. So what was submitted to me are 2 chord progressions. Okay, so we've got one that's a G, B minor, G, and E minor. And then we've got one that's E minor 2 times, and then a C and a D. Okay, so chord progression 1, like how most people would probably play it, right? Or maybe not that, right? Open chords, or the... So nothing's wrong with those chord progressions, but they're definitely not the most interesting, or unique is probably a better word for it, right? Especially when you have like certain styles of music where they just throw capos on essentially and play the same thing over and over again. You still want to make things more unique, I think. So we've talked about the 7 elements of music, and of course you can use any of those. But let's just start with some simple things. So if the main elements of music, you've got melody, harmony, and rhythm. You can add interest with any of those. Okay, so what we should do real quick is kind of establish the mood we're going for, because again, it's super important to be specific, and just kind of establish like this is what we want. We want something in this mood, this style of music, this whatever. So like if we have and you can I think it's a good idea to do a bunch of these where you take the same idea and try and make it a little bit more interesting in different scenarios and different styles, different dynamic levels is really helpful. So let's do this. I'm going to go, my mood is going to be something kind of mellow, maybe a little atmospheric, ambient, kind of something real laid back. Let's do like 2 hits. And then let's add, oopsies. Let's just do this. So if we have this, let's slow it down. Okay, so let's start with the, let's do the chord progression that was, let's start with the E minor one because we have fewer chords. Why not? Wrong notes. What were we doing? C and D. Yeah. Okay, so we're just gonna have the bass line there. So with normal chords, right? Very much like a Metallica sort of vibe, right there. Very much. So if you guys have any specific ideas, feel free to just shout them out as I'm like kind of talking to myself, because we can take this in a lot of directions, and there's a certain way that you want to see it go. You can just let me know. So anyway, with this, let's listen to this again. So let's just let's think about some ways that we could maybe make this more interesting than those chords. Right? So if we did right, let's start by extending those chords. So obviously you can do this with music theory, and that makes it real easy. Rock, okay. Yeah, we can take this chord progression and kind of build it up and do some different things with it. That'll be cool. Yeah, and if there's any instruments or things like that too, you can feel free to shout those out. But what we're going to do right here is, let's say we want to extend these chords. So what I mean by that is add more color. And when we have like the E minor chord, let's just say we're playing the open. Any note from our key is fair game. How'd you go? Oh, that's good. Yeah, we'll do that. A lot of times it's like, it depends on the style, but a lot of times if it's going to be something similar, just bigger, it's a layering thing. So if we, let me just let's figure out a real mellow sort of like simple layer, because that's not with these chords. So right away, I would probably find like a, something that's a little bit more, a little more fun. Let's see, like. Like right there, that's adding more color, right? Not just an E minor anymore. E minor add. So I'm gonna play it with it. So we're just gonna get a simple layer and then we'll build it up. That'll work for right now. Let's just. All right. So here we go. Okay, so as far as like build, oh yeah, the solo over this is this is a really good chord progression, and the thing is, like, you don't like, I feel like I was really guilty of this for a long time, just feeling like I had to do so much, like honestly, even just using those open chords, if I were just to change the last one and play the D with a little bit more color and have something like, slight little changes to it, can make a huge difference. That's a much more interesting, chord there. So with this, when we've got, and I like the direction you're going, Damon, because what we can do with this, I think it is really would lend itself very well to like a really cool solo, a lot of feel, right? And you can have this progression repeating for a long time. That's one thing that there's some really good. I mentioned Clint Mansell when I was, I think, talking about Kenny's song a couple weeks ago, or maybe like a month ago at this point. Same chord progression for 7 minutes, but it's all interesting, So with this, if like progression of a song, right? Let's just say we're gonna build this up a little bit. Maybe a second guitar comes in. I like that beginning part right there. It's a little bit more sad. Oop. So that's a little bit darker, but that's always a good thing in my book. So, maybe we could have this, let's have this part play then. input was so... It's crazy the difference in output between like a low-end guitar and, you know, with like shitty pickups. One of my students is plugged in last. Liking it. So now we've got just a same kind of ideas, but just a slightly more evolved kind of progression with it, right? We could, so as far as, let's add some keys. And now this is actually one thing too that a lot of people don't realize, but when they're not familiar with recording, or like just the process of layering and stuff like that, there's a lot of times where it might sound like you're just hearing like bass, drums, and guitar, but there's actually like a keyboard layer or some other like effects and stuff going on that are kind of giving you the tone. So like right here, if I were just to have this, just octaves on like a keyboard, it's gonna fill it out a lot more. Right? Now if we were to, let's just make these same chords. So whether you're using theory or not, you can just look at your fretboard and like a chart with the notes on the neck and see what notes you're hitting and then hit them in different spots, or the same notes on a different instrument, I guess I'm saying. Or you can definitely, theory's much faster, but here like for the C chord, a C, E, and G, because any chord would be that. And then for this D chord, let's go down. So A, D, and F sharp. Okay, so now we've got this, which will add more emotion to it because it's fuller chords. Okay, so we don't delete it. Holy shit. There we go. So yeah, so let's take the 1, 2, 3 said rock. We're gonna use that. We're gonna use Wicked's idea of building this up into a really badass, big, dramatic, distorted thing with soloing. And so let's see how this builds so far. So what I'm gonna say here is let's go until this point, and then we're gonna make it heavier. Let me read this. What do we got? I'm not sure if it's my ear or what it is, but I feel like ever since you started doing your solo album, practicing that song you're working on. Oh. One sec. Quiet. I gotta keep an eye on him because of his leg, but annoying. Yeah, dude. I mean, it always depends. Like, I'm at the point where I just practice for what I need to do for the recording. So, yeah, it's definitely knocking off rust on a lot of things. I kind of constantly have, like, just because of my job, right? I'm in songwriting mode and don't really feel rusty in that regard, but like definitely certain techniques. If there's some projects where I have to write an entire soundtrack without ever touching a guitar. You know, it's not even an instrument that's used. So then in those cases, I'm not playing nearly as much. Let's see, what do we want here? Let's change this, the heavier part. We'll make it to, let's just put like something kind of 16th notes on the kick. And we'll just go to something kind of straight for right now. And 2 and 4. But yeah, like everything, like I kind of just have to practice whatever I'm going to be recording, right? And or whatever I'm going to be performing, or what I guess is a better way of saying it, because sometimes it is live, right? And yeah, it's interesting. I also think that yeah, since the styler, that's a long time ago. Yeah, just different moods at the time, different been exposed to more things, more like I think you get better and better at knowing what you like. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I was talking with a guy the other day who is another teacher and has like completely different had a term I hadn't used before for something, and still it's not wrong or anything like that, but I've been teaching forever and toured all over and everything, and I still had I've never even heard that term. So it's constantly something new. That's why I like music. There's always something you can do with it. All right, so our chord progression, right? So with the distortion thing, we want to kind of think about what we want. In this case, since we're going to be doing a solo, I'm going to guess we're probably going to want something that's kind of big and open. So power chords are probably the best bet for that. There's that many? Dude, why is it? Here, let me see if I can, I got to see if I can fix this. Because it should not, that seems way more than it should be. You know what, I'm gonna have to I'll fix it. So I'm not quite sure where to look. You know what I can do though? Let me pull this up. I will. I think there's a button, right, where I can skip it. No. Did I just turn one on? No. Wait, did I just turn on another ad? I really hope I didn't. Oh, shit. Well, okay. Yeah, the Twitch being Twitch, I gotcha. Yeah, because I had it set for, cool. I had it set for the minimum, but the one day especially, it seemed like it was being ridiculous. It kind of depends on the mood we want, right? Like if we're just going for, this is kind of loud now. But yeah, as far as like bass, just something simple things, right? Like if we were to go to, instead of this, start chugging more on those notes. Oop. So let's just get something kind of open. We need that cowbell, huh? Actually, I don't even know if there's a cowbell in this drum program. If there isn't, that's a missed opportunity. I'll just have to yeah. That's funny. I didn't even think of that. I'll have to add one in later. sloppy because I did it a little bit different picking, but just right now. I like your style, my friend. Let's do it. The cello would be super badass, especially, I think. But actually, like, let's do this. So, just to show, we're gonna add. Hopefully, this doesn't. We're just gonna add. This is actually a free. Should be back. Cuts me out. I forgot about that. It's a free key zone classic. So we're gonna add some piano. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, right here, what I was gonna do is that little part that I want to draw a little bit more attention to what I was doing on the overdriven guitar, and I think this would be this might actually end up being a better way of playing it anyway. So we're just gonna have those low notes, much lower. All right, so here we're gonna have, what do we do? E, B, yeah. So first, I'm literally I'm transferring the exact. Yeah. I don't know if that's the rhythm, but those are the notes. Let's put the B. And then G. Oops. D. Extend these. So right now I'm doing a lazy way of programming. Normally I would do this where I actually put the sustain pedal down and everything, but for right now I'm just going to extend the notes. So here we've got same part, but now a piano. Now honestly, I think this should be much higher. Alright, don't like those chords. I like this part. I think this sounds sweet. Let's just add something totally different then. Doesn't have to be the same. It started like that, but then inspiration strikes, right? Let's do... Let's see. That's funny. The bot just thought climax was a bad thing. I like that. So ooh, that's not good. Whatever I just did. What is that noise? You've got a lot of good ideas there. There's so many. The thing is, like, you don't have to limit yourself to them, right? You just climax all over the place. You want to have some control. But this could be really cool. Like, we could slowly, get this going and build it up, take it down, go, yeah, that's so funny. You can use all of those different ideas, and it could be like in a few different ways. It could just be like, it seems like a lot of electronic music kind of evolves this way, where you kind of have something that just like you keep layering more and more stuff, and then it might have like the same chord progression for a lot of it, or most of it at least. The ultimate, unlimited. Yep. So anyway, you can have like certain styles of music will do things in different ways. Obviously, film scores, like I was using as the example, tend to build on the themes more. But if we were doing this and like we were saying, like more in a rock song, this could be like, let's say, definitely be like a little intro, and then go into the verse, right? So much. Yeah, I think this sounds really cool. One of my favorite things is to have like the really emotional, like in this case, I feel like the piano and that guitar part, they add like a really sad quality to it, and having that blended in with something more aggressive, like the opposites in the same thing, I always think is so sick. There's a band called Daylight Dies that has a really cool song called Subtle Violence, I think, or A Subtle Violence or something like that. And it's like acoustic picking with like heavy guitars that comes to mind. It's really sweet. So check this out. Like, we could take what we just did, build it up, right, and then take it back down, and we can go back to anything that we want. So maybe we want to cut the drums out again, do another really mellow thing for, let's say, half of. Oops. Come back. You could have something. Verse, right? Go back. So this is a really simple form right now, but it's cool. So let's play around with this. Turn me up. So yeah, as far as like if I were doing solos, like the first part, have it be much more spacious, kind of build it up like we were saying for the climax here. You could have the first time it gets a little heavier. Oh yeah, that's a pretty cool song. They're using those nylon electric sort of hybrid things. I've had my eye on one forever. There's a 7-string one, but I've never pulled the trigger because it's like I don't think I'll end up using it that much really. But yeah, it's fun. It's cool. I wish more people used the nylon string guitars. They sound really underutilized, I think. Or they are underutilized now. You gonna play? Oh, I didn't push play. Ha! That would help. So yeah, right here, this would be probably the way I did this. I'm gonna move. I think in this spot, yeah, slowing it down again, focusing on like this time it kind of went like right into it. The thing, like I was mentioning this maybe last time, I think it's really important to think about what you want it to sound like when the thing happens. So for example, the first, we'll call this the chorus that we did here, kind of slams in out of nowhere. If we were to do this, let's make this more, we're going to have this part be a big build-up. Let's see what we want. So do we just want quarter notes here? So and obviously, this is one of those things where if I were what am I trying to say? This is one of the things where there would be a lot of variations, obviously, with the real drummer doing some variations and things like that. So this is going to be a really stripped down, not, it's like not the most interesting, but it'll get the point across. And I think that's where you need to start when you're trying to get used to songwriting quickly. You get to a point where you can just kind of get the idea out pretty quickly and not forget things as much. But at least for me, I would forget shit all the time, and it drove me crazy. So we'll build this up. And then same thing with the snare. So right now I'm just doing like a really, like I said, simple, no accented build up. But like, hello, you gonna do? I didn't have all the notes selected. Actually, I think I did the wrong notes, didn't I? We want 16ths. Yeah. Oops. All right, so we're just gonna have. So yeah, just hitting just straight 16th notes on the toms and snare. And we're gonna do this. First half, we'll say. We're gonna move those to that one. Okay, so for here, actually, let's not do that right now. These guys. Like I said, this is a slop version, but it gets the idea out, and then refine it. So those little gallops and stuff I was adding in there, the automation, like the fade in and stuff, all of that. Ah, shit, I fell apart. I got tired. We'll just copy that. Yeah, the fastest song. There you go. But see, the thing is, like, I think for you, the thing is, like, just really trying to be specific. I mean, it's hard when you don't have a name for the ideas and everything quite yet. But if you can be more specific with what you're looking for, it can help out a ton. So like knowing, like in this case, I was just choosing a mood, right? Oh, this is going to be kind of annoying, but we're going to do this. Shit. So just like in this case, I just want it to be a build-up, right? So what we could do, let's just say it goes completely, just... Understand that. That's happened before. Fortunately, it's not so frequently. Well, yeah, what happened to me is if I did spent too much time, I think actually I should say this. One of the things that really, really helped me with songwriting was in college, just the crazy amount of stuff that I had to write all the time. What I think before college, this might actually help if I explain it, so hopefully it's not super boring. But before college, when I was writing stuff, that would be like the time where I was guilty of thinking that, okay, I have to use these time signatures, I have to use this exotic scale, these crazy chords in order to write the music that I like, right? Because I like progressive rock and metal. So I was trying to force it, and I was trying to do it all on guitar, right? So as I in college, well, I mean, this is actually a real good example then for you, because so in college, I think I've told you before, but there were like 40 something people in my first theory class, and then by the time that class was in the final semester, I was one of 4 left. And the people that stayed were not necessarily like naturally talented or didn't have they weren't like amazing at their instruments or anything like that. Like one of the guys that I'm thinking of in particular, no offense to you, buddy, Ray, but Ray was I've told him this before. At the beginning of it, it was almost like you were questioning why he was in the class, because he didn't do much, right? He had never played music really before, and he was he played bass and did some little things, but what he did is he tried to he with all these assignments, and I'll talk about those in a second, but we would write music constantly, and he was one of the people that just practiced applying specific things. Those are the people that made it to the end. The people that were trying to be just like book smart or rely on their natural talent, they didn't work. It didn't work out for them, being able to focus in on and try. And so like we would say we were working on the key of E minor like we are right now, and we had a certain concept in mind, like a way to break the rules in theory or something. What we would do is have to write something like 32 measures a week at least, building that up, right? So you would have to do 4-part harmonies, so writing for 4 different voices, so soprano, alto, tenor, bass. You had to write like 32 measure chord progressions applying certain things, and I get that. The thing to I mean, I feel like there's definitely a part for you of like it's okay to focus in on, like, I know you don't want to focus in on like say technique or whatever, right? But like I think it would be a good thing for you to focus in on like some like not worrying so much about the big picture, I guess is a way of saying it. Like have some fun with it, and maybe just take some time to learn a bunch of riffs, because by you play, I mean, it's not necessarily like you need to copy them or anything like that when you try and do your own thing, but it certainly is going to help inspire the techniques, right? Because if your fingers are moving around in certain ways, you can kind of visualize things more. Yeah, I think that's definitely valid. And you can figure out, okay, like say this one riff I like it because you can analyze what scales they're using, what rhythms are being played, try and like on the side of that, try and do something similar. The trick is really like I burnout and having that drive and stuff like that, leaving it's super common. The big thing is like doing what you love with it and trying like just having fun. That's the most important thing. So like there are a lot of people that get focused in on just one thing. Like I know you were with technique and stuff, and then it's like you burn yourself out, right? And you stop having as much fun with it. But yeah, totally get it. Snoring. Oh, I could. That makes a lot of sense. I think so when you say you don't, I think you recognize a lot more though than you think. And there's certain things like not just saying like listening to it, right? But if you pull the tab up in front of you, like even if you were to just like, I used to do a lot of stuff like this where I'm going to do an example with the Ghost in the Machine song, that Paul Wardingham one. I haven't actually learned most of those riffs, so this will work out well. Where are you? So like in Ghost in the Machine, I'm going to pull up the tab. A lot of times I think, I mean, you look at the tab and it's overwhelming because there's a lot of shit, but you can literally just say, okay, I'm going to focus in on 6 notes. I'm going to, oh shit, I opened up the Guitar Pro. Oops. Here we go. I was wondering why it was taking a while. All right, so let's go down a bunch of pages. Okay, so I'm going to go down to... this song is in drop A. I'm just going to play it in drop D right now. So what's happening here... I'm going to go over to the rhythm channel. Okay. This riff on the bottom here is what we're going to do. So what it's basically... I'll play the riff... Oh, wait. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Okay, so this one, the top part. Yeah, this riff is... Okay, so anyway, like if that were, it doesn't really even matter what the riff really is, but I could take those notes. So I've got like the third. Let me just switch my view. Do something like this. So you've got the first group, and then so you got 2 different chords outlined right there. I like even though he's playing it like the well played again with this view, the way he's doing it. And then it goes down. So you could take those, right, and try and do your own rhythm with that. So there's a lot of those gallops. So maybe I would just say, okay, I'm going to focus on those gallops and those notes. And I'm just going to take the first chord. That harmonic was cool, but it was a total accident. Start playing around with that, and that's only with the first chord. You have that cool bend there too, so like you can take it in a lot of different, you could even go to like a totally different direction and do something that's like a clean part based on those notes, right? If we were to do that, kind of weird, but why not? So if we, instead of it's kind of cool. So the it's not like, it's gonna take a while to be able to listen to something and be like, oh, that's a sus2 chord and that's a 9 chord and that's a this polymeter and this is, you know, all that kind of stuff, like the specifics. But you can definitely just like, you don't, like I said, there's different levels to how you can dive in. Most of the time it's kind of more, I think it's best to be kind of surface level, you know. So what frets am I using, and you can use those to kind of shape what you're doing, even if you can't recognize the name of the scale or the name of the rhythm, or if you're not sure if they're doing triplets, or, you know. The thing too is you have a good ear, so you know, you just like lock. It's like almost like I said, trying to do too much. Just lock in with one little part. It could be the gallop. It could be the note choice. It could, whatever part of the song that you like and the riff you learned that you like. But yeah, I think it would be a good move for you to maybe pick. And it doesn't have to be full songs, but maybe pick like, okay, I like the intro. I'm gonna work on the intro of this. I'm gonna work on the chorus of this. I want to work on this melody, and get a list going of some stuff, and then you can rotate through it. Helps keep it interesting, and I think it's real helpful. Because yeah, it is like what you're mentioning. I think especially I think that can help. Getting your fingers to do more, so then you can kind of connect your brain to it more. Forgot I was in drop D. Oops. So what we're gonna add some more stuff to this. This is only 3 chords, right? It's and the thing is, like, the way you play those, like the chords, the rhythm, the harmonies, all of that, those different elements play a role. And when we have let's take, like, if we're taking this, just E minor, C, and D. Maybe like we want to add some sort of arpeggio sort of thing, right? Just like a little melody. This would be real cool if we just actually developed it more, you know? Like you're saying, like I want to go back to this for a second. So everything can be boiled down to very, very small components. So if we have like this, like we were saying, 3 chords. But how you play those chords makes a big difference. And in this case, this would be focusing on your voicing and note choice and stuff. If you were, I'll change this so you can see the fingers for some of these. Wrong button. I was going to change this. I was going to say, like, the way you play the chord makes a big difference. So if I play a C major, this is also a C major, as is this, as is this. Right? There's a whole bunch of ways you can do it. Not that way though. So if you take it like slow, right? So as far as finding what chords you like, I always think it's a good idea to have the key written out and stuff in front of you, but just pick like 2 chords, or pick, 2, 3, or 4, I would say. And so I'm just going to keep using the one we were doing, E minor, C, and D, and then figure out what notes that you're doing with theory or just by looking at a chart. Try and find those notes in different spots and find different ways. You can even use a chord dictionary and just look up different ways of playing the same chords. With the open chord, let's say we took that E minor. I was going to bring this up. Without theory again, you can just find notes that sound good to you by ear by adding something. So, like those sounded good, but the 1st fret, I'm not a big fan of that sound, right? So I would just kind of maybe, okay, I can do the 3rd fret. That sounds pretty good. 2nd fret. That sounds good. Open, obviously. Maybe the 3rd fret on the next string. That one sounds cool. Let's say the 1st fret. And open. There's a whole bunch of little variations there. So if you have one chord, you're just going, you can make that a hell of a lot more interesting, almost like adding a melody to your chords where you have like a... Ooh, that's Opeth. Like, that's not following the key. That's such a cool sound, though. Sorry, I gotta figure this out. Interesting. All right. So yeah, so right, that's kind of cool right there, just doing that. But you can just find those notes. You can try and extend the chord with 9th, 7th, 13th, 11th, 6th, whatever. And you can also focus more on the rhythms. You can change, like maybe we want to make this a little bit more proggy, right? Change up here. Let's try this chord progression just similar way, but let's put it in a different time signature. So I'll just do this with the piano real quick. Let's say we want to put this in 5/4. So we could have. Wrong last chord, but instead of just ending it there, it would be an extra quarter note each one. There's let's let's take that idea, but let's do something completely different with it. So we're gonna go. Let's just change it up. So we're gonna do. Let's see. Let's do. Anyone have a preference on time signatures? Oops. Let's do. Let's see. Okay, so let's do this. This is going to be in 6 then. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 7. Let's do 7. That'll be cooler. So 2 times. And then here, we're going to the C. So let's just put it up here. Wait. Is that even? I don't think I copied that right. Let's see. Let's see if this even works. Nice. All right, so we've got this now in a totally different time signature, basically the same exact idea, just extending it slightly. Which I think is it changes a lot, right? And the let's get these. One, two, three. Actually, let's do one more just to. So my idea in my head is I want to put like a higher kind of guitar with this. So what I'm going to do is have a very simple but higher, like kind of chord, simple clean guitar, and then have more of like a higher kind of melody thing. So here. Ooh, and so let's add a cool rhythm to this. Okay, so we're gonna make let's make the bass part first. Let's see, how about this? Let's see. Let's find a cool groove for the 7. All right, so that works. Oops. Let me think about this though. You know, I'm going to add just as a framework so I can hear where this is. The kick drum's going to match that for sure. But just for right this moment, I'm just going to get those. Something to keep the time better. And then way up chord. Let's see. Alright, that's pretty cool. We'll just stick with that for a second. And then I'm going to make this one longer, maybe? Actually, maybe this one longer. I like it. And obviously here, we're just going to go ahead and copy this, make it a little bit more interesting as we go, probably. But for right now, just to show. All right. So your phrase, everything changes now. It's very, very similar, but it's not going to feel, it doesn't feel the same, obviously. Here, I'm just outlining the note that works for all those chords. And I think this would be really cool because it's like a little polyrhythm, like doing groups of 3. Let's get this. Let's do it. Let's end. Gives a rough idea. But this could be totally a cool variation on that original thing, right? We could have actually here. All right, so here's like a little song arrangement. We've got the chorus happening 3 times. We've got 3 verses, a little bridge. yeah, this is gonna be cool. I'm just gonna go ahead and retune. And let's do some solos. Actually, I want to switch my guitar. Sixes feel weird. Oh, shit. Switch guitars and don't know which string to tune. All right, so what? Nice. How long is this at anyway? That's like several minutes. Let's give this a go. So here's our little arrangement so far. I hit the wrong button. Chunky bits. Worse. Just go back to the other bit. Crack that. Pretty cool. And it all starts with just a super simple basic idea, right? So, um, yeah, you guys, I think it's the stuff that you guys have been sending in. That's the big theme. You all have a lot of really good ideas, and it's like, I feel like one little thing might, like, what's the word I'm looking for? One thing kind of throws you off, or one thing like kind of gets in the way, right? Where you're not happy with it, and you just kind of like give up on it or throw it away or whatever. Not sure where to go. Definitely be specific with yourself, like we were talking about, and just say, okay, I don't like this part. Maybe I don't like that chord. Maybe I don't like that rhythm. Maybe whatever it is, and then try and just substitute things. You know, with that thing we were playing around with the that weird chord, where I had the. That part. That's pretty cool. So anyway, you know, experiment. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. It is time for me to get going and start some lessons. I hope you have a great day. Appreciate you stopping by, and we're gonna do more with this. So keep sending in your ideas because they're badass. So much love, guys. Have a good day.